at the same time. And as we're here in the pavilion, and Sumaya Wali, who designed it, said that her special theme of interest when she was designing the pavilion was the identity, the themes of identity, community, belonging, and gathering. And that's why she wanted to be here. And that's certainly something we have felt in the last months. Belonging and identity is a bigger part of the theme tonight, Maya, and I think it's like being displaced or forced out of your own home or community is a devastating experience for everybody. What's appealing for us, the film committee, about the film is the universal language of animation and music and no spoken words. Could you tell us a little about the idea behind the film and also maybe the hidden messages and the metaphors which present themselves throughout the film?
Thank you, Kristín. First of all, I would like to say thank you for having us and having the film as your inaugural film for the film committee. I think it's wonderful that the film committee is starting with the Serpentine. Film is the seventh art, and it's very telling that a film like this would be the first film that would be screened because it tells to the power of storytelling and how storytelling can shift hearts and minds, and it really does. I mean, films and art are there to keep us connected to each other, within ourselves and to each other. So first of all, thank you. The reason we made the film was to trigger compassion and trigger a different way of talking about refugees. For me, I've done lots of live action, I've done documentaries, and for this particular film, it was really important to do animation and create something that was out of what you would normally expect. Drawing and there's a lot of symbolism. What you talked about, there is metaphors in the film, and to create the story, we worked with refugees and storytelling workshops. I mean, I have a family history of refugees. I'm from Palestine and Lebanon, but I grew up in England, so we reconnected to refugees of today, and we work very much with Sita and Anjali, who are here tonight, and with Pedro, who work with refugees, and it's their story. So we are a voice as artists for other people within this, and filmmaking has that power to do that. And when I heard sing song, Inshallah, I asked him, would you give us the song? Because it's a hypnotic melody that reminds us of the repetition that you go through with our footsteps, and we talked about footsteps on the wind, because the wind carries the footsteps. Who remembers where you tread? Like when you go camping, you leave something on the ground, and what is that mark that you've left on the ground? And these footsteps, when they are traveling from the Middle East or Africa or anywhere and trying to come here, for example, they're leaving these things behind. And what is left behind? And these wishing flowers, there's a lot of symbolism. These wishing flowers are about the wishes that you create and the talismans that you take with you. The scarf, for example, is from one of Sita's books. It's the mother's spirit. So there's a lot of symbolism in it. Yeah, I could talk for a long time, as you can see. Yeah.
Well, we are bombarded with short videos and messages on YouTube and Instagram, and how is this film going to be living or doing something different than the things we are just seeing on the internet, on the web, and how can we make the message? I mean, who's going to see the film? Where will it travel?
So we're doing it first. We've got film festivals and putting it at that line of a film that's crafted. But then the mission of the film is multifaceted. So there's one audience is general public awareness raising, compassion about what refugees are going through. But the very important audience is the refugees themselves. We want to use it as a storytelling therapy tool, and we have started using it as a storytelling therapy tool. We have here tonight Casper, who represents when we band together and based in Lesbos, and they showed the film there a couple of weeks ago, and it was really interesting to see the effects that it had on the children there. Some children that weren't speaking when they first arrived, and they, with the film, the message of hope, even though it's scary at times, we worked on this with the storytelling and with psychiatry. How do we tell the tough story but still keep it hopeful? Like the octopus hands are about children disappearing. There's so many children that disappear, 21 million refugees in the world. So these facts, but making it in a way that can be used as therapy. And we have a schools program that we're doing together, an education pack that we've just created as well. And we're very proud of this pack with Faga and Anjali's help as well. And we've done this to distribute the film in schools and change minds in schools and create openness with children to people that are coming from elsewhere.
Yeah, and also you're going to have discussions after the film with the kids, and going to go through both those who have been with refugee children and those who don't know anything about it. Yes, and Sting was talking about the importance of empathy.
Yes.
How can empathy help?
Well, I think empathy helps us. I was talking to someone earlier actually about how empathy is Dalai Lama says that when you're kind to others, you're being kind to yourself, not just in a kind of wacky, softy way, but it's actually scientific facts because everyone likes science. And scientific experiments have been on people's brains, and that when you're nice to people, you're actually having nice tingles in your own brain, and that's you're being nice to yourself. So compassion is really important therapy for others and creating a nice and happy society, a better society in which we all thrive together. But also, you're doing good to yourself and being a happier, healthier person with your own mental health.
And the good thing, you don't have to translate the film; it goes everywhere. You know, you're already doing educational practice in Romania. You're doing it in Lesbos. You're doing it quite all over the world.
Yes, sorry, it's taking off very quickly. We haven't even started reaching out, and people are coming to us. We've got Amir, who's our social media reach out, and people have been coming to us a lot, and we're just starting that collaboration. We're very open to ways of doing it, and it's been very touching to see how people of all strands have been touched by the film. We made it in a special way, you know, like Tom and Jerry and all these old cartoons have different meanings to different age groups. Well, that's what we've done. Some of them are a bit rude sometimes as well. But here, it's very much about different levels of understanding for different audiences, and we've crafted it that way so that it has a way that it grows, and then we just give it, and people appropriate. It's not our film, we're just a channel for their voices and for other people using it, and also for bereavement as well. It's not only about refugees, it's about climate change, it's about climate, poverty, climate refugees, as well as bereavement. How do you cope with loss and spirits that continue in your life, and who's watching over you afterwards when you've lost someone dear to you. So there's lots of ways of using it.
And the power of storytelling, especially for kids now that actually are welcoming refugees and really need to try to understand the world they're coming from.
Yeah, in their homes. How do you welcome people into your heart and into your home? And as Hans was saying earlier, actually, about the fact that storytelling has this power, and how do we use it, and how do artists use the power of storytelling? Whether it's with corporations and trying to shift mentalities and products that people buy, all the way through to the way that we perceive each other and the world around us. So the power of storytelling and the power of art to shift our society for the better. And I spoke to David about this earlier actually as well. So it's really inspiring to collaborate on this. And I want to say thank you to you, Kristín, for the film committee choosing our film and thinking about, we have this project of the art of storytelling, you and I. Going to Davos next year, aren't we?
Yeah. We spread the word.
Yeah.
What can we do? We live in London. I mean, how can we spread the message? What can we do? It's a pretty overwhelming and big topic.
What can you do? I think it starts with, first of all, the little things. When you meet someone in the street, or when you have someone comes up and asks you for help, offer help. Look at people in the eye and offer help on an immediate level in a physical space. But also, there's organizations that we support, that we partner with. If you look at our website, footstepsonthewind.com, there are charities that we are collaborating with, and we will. There's a few that are there already. There's Anjali's O's Refugees, which works with Calais, and refugees arriving there and giving them housing, and also when we band together that are represented here tonight, and Young Roots as well. Young Roots is the organization that we did the storytelling with. So whatever comes in your path, come to it with an open heart, and things happen by magic.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you for bringing your spirit into the pavilion. It was actually in less than 3 weeks is going to be taken down.
The temporary structure of our lives.
The temporary. And it's going to travel to other places and communities, and I really hope that the Serpentine spirit will travel with it. And just thank you all for coming tonight, and let's I really hope we can talk a little bit about the topic now after we start talking.
Yeah. Thank you.